Let us be real for a second. The fat man in the velvet suit has always been a capitalist shill, but imagine if he went full crypto, bro. Picture this nightmare scenario where you wake up on Christmas morning, run to the tree, and find absolutely nothing because your dad's gas fees were too high. We are not talking about coal in your stocking anymore, folks. We are talking about a literal rug pull orchestrated by a guy named Saint Nick. If Santa Claus decided to pivot to the blockchain and only accept obscure holiday shitcoins, your entire childhood nostalgia is about to get absolutely wrecked by volatility. Forget leaving out milk and cookies by the fireplace because this jolly old hustler does not want your gluten anymore. He wants your private keys and liquidity. You better hope your grandma knows how to navigate a decentralized exchange, or else little Timmy is going to be crying over a failed transaction hash tonight. First things first, the North Pole is no longer a whimsical toy factory. It is a massive server farm melting the ice caps faster than coal. Santa rebranded himself as Satoshi Claus, trading that iconic red velvet suit for a black hoodie, greasy hair, and some serious dark web paranoia. He is not checking a list twice anymore. He is auditing a decentralized ledger to see if you have diamond hands or if you are paper. The reindeer are not pulling a sleigh. They are essentially nodes in a proof-of-work network validation scheme that smells like burning ozone and reindeer manure. Do not be a beta cuck for cookies, because the only thing Santa is eating this year is the liquidity from your dad's retirement account. The economy of Christmas is now run on a volatile token called Jingle, and the tokenomics are designed to absolutely wreck your family's financial stability. 1 minute a single Jingle token buys you a PlayStation 5, and the next minute it is worth less than a half-eaten candy cane. Imagine trying to explain to your crying 6-year-old that she did not get a pony because the market cap of Christmas tanked overnight. You have to stake your reputation on the blockchain just to get a spot on the nice list, which is now a public DAO. The immutable naughty ledger is brutal, and unlike the old days, there is absolutely no forgiveness for being a little brat back in July. Everything you did is recorded on-chain. So when you pulled your sister's pigtails, that transaction was verified by 6,000 anonymous miners in Greenland. You cannot just say sorry and bake some brownies to fix it, because the smart contract has already executed a slashing penalty on your gifts. Your permanent record is literally permanent now, visible to every other kid on the block who wants to audit your moral transaction history. If you want to get off the naughty list, you have to pay a gas fee that costs more than your parents' SUV. It creates a dystopian hellscape where rich kids can just buy forgiveness, while poor kids get wrecked by the algorithm for minor infractions. Talking about the elves, they are not singing songs while painting wooden ducks anymore. They are exhausted developers fueled by Adderall and cheap energy drinks. The workshop looks less like a magical cottage and more like a high-stress Silicon Valley startup right before the SEC kicks down the door. These poor little guys are coding Solidity smart contracts for 18 hours a day, screaming about bugs in the gift distribution protocol and yield farming. There is no HR department at the North Pole, so when an elf gets burned out, they just get rug pulled and replaced by a bot. The labor union was dissolved and replaced by a governance token that the elves cannot even sell because the liquidity is locked for eternity. Hermie the dentist is not fixing teeth anymore. He is running a pump and dump scheme on a shitcoin called Tooth that has zero utility. Gas wars on Christmas Eve would be the absolute worst logistical nightmare in the history of mankind, ruining the holiday for literally everyone involved. Normally, Santa just slides down the chimney, but in this crypto hell, you have to pay a transaction fee for him to enter. If the network is congested because everyone is trying to get their presents at midnight, the gas fees to unlock your chimney skyrocket immediately. You might wake up to find Santa stuck halfway down your flue because you did not set your slippage tolerance high enough for the transaction. Dad is screaming at the fireplace, trying to bridge more Ethereum to the Christmas chain just to get the old man to drop the package. Meanwhile, the rich kid across the street paid a priority bribe to the miners, so Santa is over there drinking scotch and unboxing iPhones. If you are too slow, your transaction fails, you lose your gas money, and Santa just flies over your house giving you the finger. The presents themselves are NFTs, which is the biggest slap in the face because you cannot actually play with a JPEG of a bicycle. You tear open the wrapping paper, which is actually just a QR code, and scan it to reveal you own a digital image of a doll. Try hugging a non-fungible token when you are lonely. Timmy, it provides zero emotional warmth, and the floor price is probably dropping as we speak. Kids are trading their gifts on OpenSea before breakfast is even served, flipping digital socks for a fractional share of a virtual race car. The secondary market for Christmas presents becomes a bloodbath of speculation, with toddlers screaming "HODL" while their assets depreciate into digital dust. Grandma tries to knit you a sweater, but she accidentally mints it on the wrong blockchain, and now it is stuck in a bridge limbo forever. The scams would be legendary because where there is crypto, there are grifters trying to steal your seed phrase and your holiday cheer. You would get phishing emails from Santa Claus asking for your wallet connection to verify your address for gift delivery, but it is a trap. Fake Santas would pop up everywhere promising to double your presents if you just send them 1 Bitcoin first, a classic wallet drainer. The Grinch is not stealing trees anymore. He is a black hat hacker exploiting a vulnerability in the sleigh's smart contract to siphon all the toys. He does not need a dog with a fake antler. He just needs a laptop and a decent VPN to ruin Christmas for the entire hemisphere. Whoville gets absolutely wrecked because their mayor invested the town treasury in an algorithmic stablecoin backed by Christmas spirit, which depegged immediately. The aftermath on December 26th is when the real pain begins, known globally as the Great Boxing Day Dump or the Red Candle Massacre. As soon as the hype of Christmas morning is over, everyone tries to cash out their jingle tokens to pay for their January rent. The charts look like a cliff dive, crashing 90% in minutes, as whales dump their bags on the unsuspecting retail investors holding the bag. Your dad is crying in the garage because he leveraged the house on the belief that Christmas cheer would last until February, which was stupid. The return policy does not exist because blockchain transactions are irreversible, so you are stuck with that digital fruitcake forever, you absolute moron. Stores do not accept returns, they just laugh and tell you to provide liquidity to the pool if you want to earn your money back. The suicide hotline numbers are trending on Twitter right next to hashtags like Santa scam and hashtag refund the elves because the volatility is just too much to handle. Society would collapse into tribalism based on which holiday coin you invested in, creating a holy war between the snowman maxes and reindeer shills. Family dinners turn into violent debates about decentralization versus centralized gift-giving, with uncles flipping tables over the scalability of the North Pole network. Relationships end because your boyfriend spent the engagement ring fund on a profile picture of a stoned Yeti that he claims is blue chip. The spirit of giving is replaced by the spirit of greed, turning the happiest time of the year into a survival of the fittest cage match. Children stop believing in magic and start believing in technical analysis, drawing triangles on charts with crayons to predict the next Santa pump. We raise a generation of cynical day traders who measure love in annual percentage yield rather than hugs, kisses, or genuine human connection. Santa eventually exits scams, taking all the milk cookies and Ethereum to a private island in the Caribbean where extradition laws do not apply. He leaves behind a decentralized autonomous organization that is broke and arguing over a governance proposal to ban coal mining. The elves are left holding the bag, forcing them to pivot to OnlyFans or ransomware attacks just to keep the lights on in the workshop. Mrs. Claus files for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and the fact that Santa lost their entire nest egg on a leverage trade. But let's get real for a second. Imagine the sheer absurdity of trying to explain cold storage wallets to your 80-year-old grandfather on Christmas. He just wants to give you a $20 bill, but you have to explain that fiat currency is trash and he needs to swap. You spend 4 hours setting up his MetaMask account, writing down his seed phrase on a napkin that inevitably gets thrown into the fireplace. By the time you actually transfer the value, half of it is gone in fees, and the other half is lost because he forgot his password. The awkwardness of opening gifts is amplified when you have to pretend to be excited about receiving a fraction of a Bitcoin. Oh wow, thanks for the Satoshi's mom, I will surely cherish these lines of code until the inevitable heat death of the universe. It lacks the tactile satisfaction of ripping paper, replaced by the anxiety of refreshing a browser window to see if the transaction confirmed. The environmental impact would be catastrophic, turning a winter wonderland into a smog-filled wasteland of humming fans and desperate power consumption. The North Pole melts, completely drowning the workshop, but Santa does not care because his operations are cloud-based and geographically distributed for redundancy. Polar bears are forced to migrate south not for food, but to find better Wi-Fi signals so they can beg for crypto donations online. We replace snowflakes with ash from the coal plants powering the mining rigs, creating a bleak cyberpunk holiday aesthetic that nobody actually asked for. Carolers do not sing Silent Night. They chant to the moon while banging on your door demanding you look at their white paper. It is a soulless, hyper-capitalist nightmare where the only thing that matters is number go up, and human kindness is considered a weakness. Look at the end of the day, turning the North Pole into a decentralized finance hub is a straight-up garbage idea for everyone. We already have enough stress dealing with drunk in-laws and burnt turkeys without worrying about the volatility of a token based on magic. Do you really want to check CoinMarketCap every 5 seconds just to see if you can afford to put a star on the tree? Let's keep the holidays focused on what really matters, which is rampant consumerism, using fiat currency that we can actually physically touch. I want my disappointments to be tangible like a scratchy sweater, not digital like a failed transaction on the congested Ethereum network. If Santa ever tries and hand you a white paper instead of a toy train, you have my permission to tackle him immediately. Save the speculation for your degeneracy account and let the kids have their ignorant bliss before the real world crushes them flat. So this year, pay in cash, reject the smart contracts, and refuse to mint your grandmother's cookies as a non-fungible asset. Now, get off the internet, touch some grass, and pray that the Easter Bunny does not start an NFT collection next spring. Stay safe. Keep your seed phrases secret, and remember that the best gift of all is not getting rug pulled by an elf.